Hello, ladies, and welcome back to our Flourish Women's podcast. Hello. So you guys are now locked into a judgment-free zone where we take on real-life issues and we meet them with godly truth, wisdom, and transparency. My name is Lakia Duff, and I am your host for today's episode. We have co-host Lori, co-host Jasmine.
Hello, everyone.
And co-host AD. How are you ladies today? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been good. How are you ladies doing at home? Go ahead and drop in your comments. Tell us how your week's been. I hope this episode will give you some type of inspiration, will give you some type of or encouragement, whatever it may be that you need to get through your week. I hope that we can do that for you. So, before we get into our episode, I told you guys last week about our 2 segments that we do. So the first segment is called You Grow Girl. And So for this segment, we talk about our wins, whether it be a minor win or a major win.
Right.
We feel like it's always good to celebrate because it doesn't matter how fast you're moving. It just matters that you're moving.
That's right.
So I am going to take the You Grow Girl for today, and I want to tell you guys about, I would say, a major win. For me, I have been working on building my credit.
All right,
I've been working on credit
Let me
because
hold
that's
on
important. So I've been working on building my credit, and I was able to, I got my car a couple years ago, and I was able to refinance by myself, and I got a really low interest rate.
Nice.
So by myself, I did not need a co-signer because when it comes to getting a car or making any major purchase, in order to get the lower interest rates, you have to have a pretty good credit score. And so when I first got my car, the interest rate wasn't the best. But since I've worked on my credit,
Go ahead.
got it up a little bit, I was able
to,
so I was able to get a better interest rate, which lowered my payments, and now I can pay this car off quicker.
Go ahead, girl. Yes, look here.
Thank
We got to
you.
celebrate donuts.
You want to
die?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'll take a donut with you. You know I'm always down.
Thank you.
For the donut.
Set a date.
Lori, it's okay. We'll get Lori some apples.
Yeah.
Apple in the shape of a donut. Really?
I will eat off my diet, but I ain't gonna cheat for a donut because I don't really feel.
Okay, what would you cheat for?
a donut. What would I cheat for? A pound cake.
Ooh.
Yes.
Sweet potato pie. All right.
Ooh.
Okay, that was last week. But.
I thought you said sweet potato pound cake. I was about to say I just had that last week and talk about delicious.
So that's my You Grow Girl win for the week. So I was excited about that. So if you ladies have anything, because you're family and we want to celebrate with you too. So if you have anything that you have a win you've worked on, minor or major, please leave it in the comments. We want to celebrate with you guys. So definitely make sure you leave those so we can celebrate.
Absolutely.
So one more segment that we do here on the Flourish Women's podcast is called Unchurched Me.
Please, Unchurched Me.
Unchurched Me.
Unchurched me.
So for this segment, I told you guys, I didn't grow up in the church, and so there was a lot of things that I wasn't sure of how to act, what to wear, how to do this, like the protocol.
Right.
Church lingo.
The church, so I wasn't privy to all of that. And so for this segment, AD gives us a topic, and we kind of discuss it as to, what people think it may be, and what it may be or what it may not be or what it is for you. Just bringing a little bit of more perspective to the topic. So, AD.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
I'm so weak.
I said praise the Lord. No, I'm just playing. That's one of them, but nevertheless. So this Unchurched Me segment is very simple. It's the cliche, if God brings you to it, he will bring you through it.
Okay.
Wait a minute, that rhymes though. If God brings you through it, God will...
She don't know, y'all.
He will see you through it.
Yeah.
Hey.
If God brings you through it, he will bring you to it.
Shout out to all my HBCU cheerleaders that I always hated.
Okay.
Because I was a basketball player. Nevertheless. Okay, so the cliche, if God brings you to it, he will bring you through it.
Okay.
It does rhyme. But see, my thing is, God doesn't always bring you through, to certain situations. A lot of
That's a
times you
good
bring yourself to the situation.
Talk about it.
Did God take you to the ABC store?
Hello. Did he?
He did.
And now you're an alcoholic?
Hello.
Now, I will say, on the end of that,
He can
God can
deliver you.
definitely deliver you and bring you through that situation, but God ain't take you to that situation.
No, you took.
Okay.
You took yourself. You invited yourself.
What
Yeah.
about that? What about that call that you get at 3 a.m.
Hello.
Ooh.
from the opposite sex, from that ex-boyfriend?
He didn't
or
tell
that
you to
ex-
answer the phone. He didn't tell you to do that.
Did God bring you to that?
No, he didn't tell you to invite him over either. Okay?
But do y'all have any other examples, or what's your take on that?
I think context matters. I
Yes.
think self-awareness.
Yes.
Like in the
That's
way
good.
that, what we were just talking about, self-awareness matters. When you are doing something maybe that you're not supposed to, either you're putting yourself in a situation that you do not need to be in, whether it be, intimate or financially or whatever the situation may be, you know yourself, and when you're doing something that you might not need to be doing. So I think when people use that, I think it's just out of context. I think
Absolutely.
you gotta know.
Absolutely. But then I think about the flip side of it. Maybe God did bring you to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he's not going to bring you through it, because I believe that God can do anything. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, maybe it's meant for you to actually sit there for a second and learn something. Maybe he brought you to this situation to actually go through it so you can learn how to X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Go
There's
ahead.
a lesson behind it.
All right.
Okay? There's a lesson behind it.
All right. And I agree with all of that. It's like sometimes he'll bring you to it to show you yourself, to show you the areas you need to work on. So lessons and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the phrase itself can be true. And, like you said, God can always bring you, he can bring you through anything. But I guess just the first part, did he bring you
Exactly.
to it?
Don't
And-
just use it to be using it.
Exactly.
Y'all gotta be careful with these cliches now.
Right. And even when you're talking to someone, maybe a friend, and you know that she may have put herself in that situation, I think in moments like that, making sure that you're not just throwing out phrases or cliches to make people feel better.
better.
Absolutely.
As a real friend, just making sure you're telling your friend how it is and not just trying to make her feel better. Sugarcoating it.
Absolutely. So that's the Unchurched Me.
Okay.
Unchurched
Okay.
me.
I like that. Thank you. Okay. So today's topic, we are going to talk about balance and organization.
All right.
Because those are big topics, and I think it can bring a lot of clarity to your life and your situation. So I'm going to start out with just throwing this out there. What does balance look like to you? What do you call balance? Is it achievable? Because I've heard people saying that there's no such thing as balance. What do y'all think?
I think balance is definitely achievable, but what people get intimidated by is you got to put work into it. You got to be very intentional about making sure you are balancing. We have wives, we got mothers, we got business owners, we got whatever. And it's like you trying to balance all of that. You got to plan. You got to be intentional. So I would say, like, as a whole woman, that balance for me is just being intentional and planning. Yeah, we might veer off a little bit, but if you know you got to be at work at 8 a.m, like, why are we not planning the night before and preparing our lunch or our clothes or whatever we got to do? That's called balance, because guess what? You're going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off in the morning because you forgot your lunch, you got everything. So balance starts at night, the day before. It doesn't start the morning of. So yeah, that's my take on balance.
Okay.
I think balance for me, I had to kind of learn how to be creative with balance, because like you said, I'm different than Lakir said. She didn't grow up in church. I grew up in church. So balance to me wasn't the balance that I know now. Balance that I saw growing up was we're at church every single day of the week. I'm talking about Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday we got a car wash or some kind of fundraiser. Then we have something else that night. Sunday, morning service, maybe afternoon service, then an evening service, and I forgot Friday all night prayer. You know what I'm saying? And then so I'm just looking at my parents and the adults at that time.
Yeah.
They still had to try to balance their work life, their family life, and other things. But that was what I saw growing up. Is that balance? To me, no. To some, it could be. But to me now, balance is being creative with that time and utilizing the space and opportunity. So, am I at church every single day of the week? Absolutely not. I'm not knocking it if that's what you do. But no, I go to church on Sunday. I do Wednesday night Bible study. And then I'm also creative with my time. I still have a life. So some of us have work. We have, jobs. We have family. We have kids. Like you said, husbands and things of that nature. So you actually have to be creative and figure out what I think it's a part, let me just say prioritize. I think that's the main, that's the word right there for balance. Because if you start prioritizing things, then you'll see where the balance needs to shift a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have a little order. Have a little order. That's what I'll say to that. Definitely, when I think of balance, I think of order. Because if I don't have any order, everything around me is chaotic. If my mind is not right, everything is chaotic. So definitely would say to have a little order.
But why do you think it's so hard for some people to balance things or to get organized? Like, why do you think that is hard?
Lazy.
And saying yes to everybody, being available to everything. That's why you don't have any order. Being available to so many things, you can't. You come first. Self-care, put yourself first. All right, put a little order in your life by putting yourself first, and then everything is, after that.
That's good.
So.
And I used to think too, like, I got a calendar, but if it's not full, I'm not doing nothing. So then when it fill up, I'm off balance. I can't do everything. I can't, or I didn't want to sit still.
Right.
So now I'm running around, and now I'm tired. It's like, girl, you doing so? Oh, I got a free weekend. No, that weekend is self-care.
Right.
Or even now, like, I have to shut my business down at a certain time. So even if it's just me going downstairs to sit and watch a movie with my husband, that's still us spending time. And I'm not, I get off at 5 and I'm still up there till 8 o'clock doing no, shutting this down, going to spend time with my husband. And, we fall asleep, whatever case may be. I might go back to it, but it's still, I'm not going to neglect my family because I have a business. That's right.
I think for me personally, it's challenging even sometimes because one, I feel like I'm a perfectionist in certain areas. So if it's not right, I have to keep doing it until it's correct. Yeah. And with that, of course, you're losing time. Time gets away from you. Now you're running into the next activity. And then another thing would be multitasking. I think that I'm a great multitasker at times, but it can be challenging if you're doing too much and you're not focused on what you're supposed to be focused on. So yeah. And then another thing, just procrastination.
Yes. Big.
And listen, COVID has made me lazy in a sense, but it has also helped me to kind of push myself and get a lot of things done. So I think it just goes back to, just finding that balance too.
Yeah, I think when I can speak for me because I know me. One of the things that made it so hard to get organized and to find that balance is because I didn't have discipline. Like you said, somebody said lazy, but that was it for me. I was being lazy. Like I knew there were things that I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't disciplined enough. And of course, putting new things in place and being disciplined and continuously doing them every day, it's not going to feel good while you're doing it, but you're going to create a habit. And, so even like if you got to get up early, that discipline to actually get up and do, because I've realized, if there's something that I need to get done, I might need to get up and get it done before my day actually starts. So if I don't do that, then that throws off the rest of my day. So just making sure like maybe, I don't know, maybe you got to find an accountability partner or something
Yes, absolutely.
for that,
Absolutely.
to create that discipline. But I think that's one of the reasons why it could be hard for some people to actually find balance because you know what you're supposed to do, but are you actually doing it?
And then I feel like, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
And then just to kind of piggyback off of what you just said about waking up earlier, I know for me, I found out waking up early and but actually getting things done. Listen, you feel so much better.
You do.
Listen, early morning towards the middle of the day, by the time evening comes and you're able to check stuff off your list, I feel like I had a more productive day when I get up early and I get things done. Like, think about it. You start getting things done in the early morning, you got the rest of the day to just kind of relax. If that's your thing, you're not stressing, trying to now play catch up and things of that nature. Listen, you better get up in the morning.
Okay.
Why the dew is still on. Go ahead.
What I'll say about accountability, I would say it's okay to let somebody in, okay? Open up your heart, okay? It's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to change up your plans or your whole life.
Yeah.
You know,
About
that
a man?
No,
Or-
a woman.
Oh, okay.
Your accountability, your friend,
okay. I was just
family,
making sure.
accountability. Not a man. Listen, open up your heart, your mind, your soul, okay? Let somebody in to help change that. You know, if you procrastinate, if your friend is mastering that, allow them in to help you. They're not trying to take over your life or change up your plans, but just giving you a better insight and view on things that you can possibly grow at, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll say open up your mind, body, and soul when people are trying to help you.
I feel like that was a shout out to Lori.
And it probably was.
She shout out.
All right, it's okay. Nobody's trying to take over your life, all right, friends? All right.
I would say, and she took the words out of my mouth. All I thought it was control. We have a hard time balancing because it's like, I want to control everything, but we don't have it.
Relinquish it.
We don't want to release it.
Taken away from
Right,
Yeah,
but guess
yeah.
what? You still have the power. You are still creating the schedule. So you still have that power in you to go ahead and do the balance. One more thing I want to say about balance is for women, right? So I've had to shift into think of how I balance. So I'm really energetic except around menstrual time. So the Lord showed me that all of my biggest things, I have to be on it the first 2 weeks of the month or
good.
whatever, because I'm more high energy.
Yeah.
That's a part of balance, is knowing your body. I know that I sleep more menstrual. I know that I'm a little more tired, so I might not can see 8 clients that week. I might have to go down to 4 for my energy. So guess what? The first 2 weeks I'm seeing more. So I work my
make up for
schedule
that.
to make up for that around my cycle, because you got to listen to your body too.
That
and
is
so that's
true.
another balance for me, especially for women.
So
My
what do you
body
think
is saying
about
I'm
like
hungry.
distractions? Like, how do you think distractions come into play? Because I think about what y'all got these two over here.
No.
Because I think
Distractions come.
And they go.
And they go. But it's up to you.
So
Listen.
I mean, I think distractions are I think they play a big part in being balanced and being organized. I read somewhere that like your day gets stolen away from
That's
you in
right.
like 25-minute increments.
Quickly.
Whether that be, 25 minutes of scrolling on Instagram, 25 minutes extra laying in the bed in the morning.
Being available to everything else except for what you're supposed to be doing.
That 25-minute phone call that you shouldn't have taken.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't have boundaries.
Right.
Boundaries.
You know,
okay?
that
Yeah.
guy that hit you up and you weren't supposed to be texting him anyway, and you gave him 25 to an hour of your time that you didn't need.
Now you're looking at the next 18 years.
Okay? Yeah. So you stay on track, please.
So like, what do y'all?
Okay.
I think for me, I know my distraction is like social media. That's a big deal for me because like I found one thing and I'm like, ooh, this is so interesting. And the next thing you know, I'm Googling it, or I done found another Instagram page. Like I go on a spiral, and then next thing you know, I done laid in the bed for an extra 30 minutes that had cut into my quiet time. So now I got to push everything else back because like I think knowing your distractions helps with getting balanced.
That's good.
Yes.
So you want to add to that?
I was just about to say, I think sometimes we as ladies are not honest with ourselves
That's right.
in a lot
It's
of
okay.
areas, not just balancing.
Okay.
But because we're talking about balancing, I think it's a matter of just being honest and knowing limitations, knowing
Boundaries.
your boundaries.
That's right.
Because a lot of times, if you're not honest with yourself and you're, okay, I'll be fine with this. I'll be fine with my phone right here on
cut
ring.
yourself
I'll be
short.
fine with, you know what I'm saying? You know
Say
good
that.
and well, you gonna keep looking over, okay, I'm waiting on that one call. And when you see that name pop up, I'll have 5 minutes, and next thing you know, 2 hours later, and you still chatting about nothing.
Right.
About nothing.
Literally.
So
Right.
I think it's a matter of, again, just being honest and transparent with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, if I have a deadline or if I have something that I have to do, this phone is going on silent. I may even turn it over. I'm setting a clock. I'm sitting at the table. I'm not going to be like in a room or laid across the bed trying to read and do things like that. Like, I'm going to set it up as to where I do not have distractions. I'm turning the TV off.
Yeah.
I may even hide the remote.
Intentional.
And I'm getting away from the kitchen.
right.
Because listen,
Yes.
I love my snacks. I ain't playing.
It's right there, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's about being honest with yourself.
That's right.
And knowing what you can and cannot handle.
Yeah.
And I would say in the beginning, like AD said, if you know it's a weakness, right? If you got to put your phone in the other room, if
I've
you
done
have
that.
to, I had to actually turn my phone off completely, like just turn it off. So when I'm working, I don't even realize I turned it off. I'm just working. If
know,
you
'cause
know
I
that's
called
a
you.
struggle in the beginning, you got to be like real hard on yourself in the beginning. Be like, let me leave my phone upstairs. Like you said, let me sit at my desk.
Because I'm not climbing steps.
Exactly. I'm not. Let me sit at a desk and turn this TV off because da-da-da. So I love that. Like you said, first being honest. You can't be like, well, I could just scroll for a second. Okay, and then one more thing, the phone calls. So when people say, oh, you got a minute, I don't even have a week. Like, I really have to tell, like, I be like, oh, no, I'm not
But that's
talking
why we
on the
have
phone this
voicemail.
week. Yeah. I'll say, hey, I'm not talking on the phone this week. And that's it. And I don't have, and be okay with not having to explain yourself. That's a balance, too.
Yeah.
The more you explain, that's 20 minutes that your whole book could have been done.
Yeah. Make those things your new normal.
Your new normal.
Oh, that's
new normal,
good.
like things that you don't usually do, things that you know that distract you. Listen. You know you're not supposed to have your phone when you're praying or whatever, doing Bible study with yourself, or if you know that you have a plan that you have to execute. Like, put your phone to the side. Make it your new normal, not being available to everything and everybody. Put yourself first, okay? That's all I got
Don't
to
be
say.
so accessible.
So to wrap this up, because I think you guys have given some good suggestions and insight and perspective about balancing and organizing your life. Like, quickly, do you guys have anything? Have you seen any benefits from some of these tactics that you've been using? Like, what have you seen come from working on your balance and organizing your life?
I'm more conscious of the Holy Spirit. I'm more conscious of hearing what he wants me to do. I'm more conscious of myself and what I want out of my life, and what God wants from me out of my life too.
Yeah.
So definitely just being self-aware of a lot of things that I now put things aside and I'm able to see myself a little bit more, able to see God a little bit more. So, yeah.
I would say for me, definitely the Holy Spirit and letting him, I'm yielding to him and him showing me, but then also getting stuff done earlier, like having the rest of the day to myself. I'm not cramming, but then my mental clarity, like me working out earlier in the morning helps me throughout my day because I'm not yarning. I don't have to have 5 cups of coffee like I used to.
Jeez.
I don't have to, I used to have like coffee like morning, another one at lunch, another one after lunch, another one when I'm on my drive home.
That's
but if
how I
I'm
am
getting
about
up,
my ice.
if I'm getting up in the morning and I'm doing these things, it really helped me throughout my day. So it's like I call it fill my cup routine. I have a fill my cup routine because I can't work off empty. So I'm filling my cup up in the morning so I can be okay the rest of the day. So it kind of taught me to, 1, yield to the Holy Spirit, and then 2, that I matter. Like self-care, like that balancing, I'm important too. So that fill my cup routine is literally filling my cup because I matter as well.
That's good. 80, you got anything?
For me, I would say less stress, more energy.
Yes.
Less distraction. Less procrastination.
That's
Like
good.
everything that we stated at the beginning of this podcast it's like completely opposite for me. So less. But I would say just more freedom too. Like I'm more like my schedule is now open. I'm able to do what I want, and I can actually pencil things in. I can have my little girl time, and you know, we want to go get some food or you know, little spa day or
that
something.
donut.
Little one-day vacation after this
that donut.
is over. You know what I'm saying? I'm more at liberty to do those things because I have prioritized in the beginning and found my balance.
I love the freedom. I love that you said freedom.
Yeah.
That's the big key. It's like, I'm free, y'all. You're not free until you free. Like,
Yeah.
you
Free your mind first.
free
Freedom
because
begins
we're
in
not
the
in
mind.
jail. No, you're not. You're still locked up in your mind.
Right.
So I
Yes.
love the freedom.
I would totally agree. I think it made me realize I have more time than I think I have.
Yeah.
Like I have time to do those things that I thought I did not have time to do because I found some type of structure, some type of order. So I totally agree with that. I thank you guys for joining me today.
I thank you.
We love you.
Thank you.
Ain't she dope at
And we
this?
love your credit score. Okay.
Yeah.
Car on you.
Nobody talking about no Applebee's either.
I appreciate you ladies. So again, if you guys have enjoyed or heard anything that you really were like, that's it, I got that, drop it in the comments. We want to know. We want to hear from you because you guys are part of our Flourish family.
Yes.
And you matter. And so we want to hear from you. If you guys are ever in the Charlotte area,
right.
also stop by our
Stop by, come see us.
Stop
okay?
by the
We love you.
Stop by the church on Sunday. We're open and we want to meet you. We want to see you. So definitely come by. You guys can find this podcast on all of our social medias. You can find it on YouTube as well. And so I hope that you guys like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And if you want to share with the girlfriend, we will appreciate that
Yes,
too.
share
So
it.
this is it for today, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.